Hey, hello everybody, welcome to My Hero Academia, chapter 336 review. And this chapter is titled Villain. Now, last chapter, what had happened was that we saw All For One making a speech. And he was pretty much saying how he has a lot of friends in a lot of different places as it cut to UA, and we saw a picture of Hagakure in the end. Now, this chapter starts off a bit differently. This chapter actually starts off with the popularity poll results of the 7th My Hero Academia popularity poll. And on the color page, we get the top 10 over a 2-page spread. And the top 10 I'll just read them off here. 10th was Shinso. 9th was Rody Soul, who is a movie character from the latest My Hero Academia film. Then 8th was Present Mike. 7th was Eraserhead. 6th was Ida. 5th was Hawks. 4th was Kirishima. 3rd was Todoroki. 2nd was Midoriya. And 1st was Bakugo. So yeah, those were the popularity poll results, and we see them all on the front page around some animals. And so for instance, Eraserhead's around a big cat-looking thing. Bakugo has a wolf. Midoriya has a sheep around him. Hawks is a bird. Ida has a horse. Shinso looks like he's got another sort of cat. Kirishima has a tortoise. Todoroki is like a mountain lion. And Present Mike has a very big bird, probably like a parakeet or something. But that's just a 2-page spread. Now this chapter actually starts off with a fight between Bakugo and Deku, with Bakugo saying, "Endeavor taught us that build up and release stuff. But I ain't just settling for just one blast. I'm saving up for beads of sweat for a barrage of bombs all at once. That's what powers my new cluster grenade and gives big boost to every move I got. It takes a while to heat up enough, hence the winter costume. Overheating drains me fast is a choice I gotta make," as Deku says. Todoroki's also trying something different, as we see him trying to meld his ice and fire together, as Todoroki says, "I'm still figuring it out though," and he thinks, "I can control my left side just as well as my right now, in order to achieve a body even Dabi can't burn." And he thinks right and left, my entire body as one. As we cut to Kirishima and Mineta sitting on a bench, and Kirishima's just sitting there thinking, they're saying this is going to be an all-out war or whatever, but aren't the two bad guys on the ropes now? Plus, we got Gigantic Mario dozing and snoozing, right? We can make quick work of those villains. And we see that Gigantomachia is being held in this sort of big facility out almost looking like in the middle of nowhere, just being held in there to do testing and all of that stuff on. Bakugo says, "There are 3 reasons why that ain't the case." And Kirishima's like, no, Kaminari's like, 3 whole reasons? And he says, "First, finding them all is unlikely. Sure, the good guys found the Nomu hangar, Shigaraki's hideout, and all of the secret labs. But no one's ever dared to track down the big bad himself. Ever since he lost to All Might, the old nutsack face is a world champ of hide-and-seek." Then Yaoyorozu takes over and says, "Reason 2. Shigaraki's body wasn't even complete last time. While this time, our own forces have thinned down to half their former numbers." And Bakugo says, in third, "They're the ones with the finger on this trigger. Even if he might have lost that search quirk in the battle against us, they still get the opening move. That's why our side's calling up every able body. We got sheer numbers to give us a chance." While Deku says, "If nothing else, we can choose how to enter this fight, hopefully in a way that steers in our favor. We better rejoin the search too." As Zeta says, "Don't you mean we had better?" As he slaps on top of the head, since they're supposed to be working together. And Deku says, "Right, on that note," he says, "Think I can go for a quick stroll?" And he says, "I don't see why not. Relations between the Hero Coast and the evacuees have grown warmer ever since Uraraka's stirring speech." As we cut to Uraraka sort of just shying away as Froppy stands beside her. And Kaminari's like, "I guess." Even with his back against the wall, All For One still has that grin on his face. As we then cut again to the trees outside in the forest, as we see Hagakure there standing in a tree, and she looks and thinks, ever since the stuff in Ganga and Jaku, you've been into dumps. I mean, we all felt that way still. As we cut, and we look at our family out just standing in the woods, and it says, you don't have a choice. It's just in our orders just come in from him. And somebody else says, don't worry, this is always just like this. Even if they intercept a message, it's in code. They'll think it's communication between civilians. And no security cameras will catch us in this spot, right? Yes, it's fine, just fine. As we see what Hagakure is thinking again. I wonder why I haven't smiled since Midoriya came back to us. I was just worried. Everything leading up to Kimono, you always pulled out when Frun asked. Fail now and he kill us. You know that, Yuga. As we see Aoyama just standing there, fretting for his life and crying, as it's revealed that he was the traitor. It was him. Aoyama, not Hagakure, like the last chapter suggested. But it's fine. And we see Aoyama's parents going, from nearly the moment you started school here, you've honored his every request. We have provided him the forest training camp location, and nobody was ever the wiser. You must know, we never wanted any of that, and yet it's too late to turn back, as Hagakure thinks. You've got to be kidding me, it can't be true. Aoyama, all this time? And they think. And his parents say, we only wanted to give you a shot of happiness in life. You want to be the same as the others around you, right, Yuga? Yeah, because being different is scary. You had no quirk to call your own, so we just wanted to help you fit in. So you could chase your dreams like the rest of them. We would have never done it if we'd known how this would play out. Never. We would have just given that quirk back to All For One. But we're in too deep now. Now that he has his hold over us, there's no running from All For One. As we just see Yuga crying through all of this, just being sad and depressed. As Hagakure thinks, I gotta find someone, a teacher, anyone. As Aoyama thinks, I've endured so much heartache. I had to play my part right to avoid suspicion, always putting on a brave face to smother my guilty conscience. When All For One was finally caught in Kamino, for a moment, I mistakenly let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, I was free to have true friends. Oh, Yuga, please forgive us. Forgive your loving parents for being such fools. And Aoyama cries some more, and Aoyama thinks, I only wanted to protect you. I cannot let him kill you. As his parents are saying, Yuga, please, we're begging you. You have to save us, Yuga. As we see in the woods, there's a kid, a little child named Deku, looking through him. And he looks, and Deku thinks and says, Hagakure just told me what she heard, that the traitor in our midst is you, Aoyama. And the parents see, what nonsense, how ridiculous. The girl must have misheard. As Aoyama says, Midoriya, oh Midoriya. I was the only one who couldn't say a word to you. In that moment, I was silent. As we think back to when the whole of Class 1A saved Deku from himself and all of that, everybody had a word, even Hagakure, Sato, name one. They all said something but Aoyama, just being that this is how Aoyama is. And Deku says, Aoyama, and he thinks, stop, I can't take it, not from you. And Deku says, you've been looking gloomy, so gloomy lately. Only you. I thought something must be wrong, so I came looking for you out here. And Aoyama thinks, yes, only me. Always wanted to feel equal. And Aoyama says, at USJ, then in the forest, each time I led them to us. Do you hear me, Midoriya? I am a despicable villain. As we look through the cheese pieces that Deku got, saying, I know. As we end the chapter. And so what happened is that we learned the traitor was Aoyama and not Hagakure, and Hagakure didn't do much of anything. So that's really, I don't have a lot to say on this chapter. It was pretty much just exposition at the beginning, and then finding out a big, long-kept secret since the beginnings of the series. But that's all I have to say about this one. Not much. So thank you for watching, and Glowplasma231 out.